police for black girl nerds.
Hello, ladies. Hello.
Hi, nice to see you.
Good morning.
Nice to see both of you too. And I'm happy to talk about this show because I appreciate any show that shows Black women as layered, as complicated, as sometimes we make great decisions, sometimes we don't, but we are layered. We are layered people, and not to be held to just one representation of what people think Black women should be. And that's what I really love about this show. Beginning with you, and well, beginning with both of you, friend groups are very, very interesting. People say that, oh, when you want to attain a certain thing, all your friends should be doing the exact same thing as you. You should have similar type of relationships and goals. And that is not the case, especially with your two particular characters, relationship wise. They're in very different places in their relationship journeys. Amber, beginning with you, your character's journey is from the outside looking in, perfect. Everything looks perfect and it's beautiful. And when you think about people's ideas of perfection in relationships, what do you think about that notion that a relationship can be perfect and how that pertains to Whitney?
Well, what I love about this show is that we're learning and confronting the fact that there is no perfect relationship, and that's, we all aspire to a certain thing, but this character's journey just goes to show you that you can try to check every box and you can do everything the right way and you can try your best to accomplish whatever your goals are, but like life might have other things in store for you, or you might not be as fulfilled by those choices in the end. And I find it kind of like refreshing to see that perspective shown on this show, because we put a lot of pressure on ourselves to have everything perfect. And I love it's the juxtaposition between what my character is going through, and it's like the opposite is what's happening for Ella, is that she made all of the plans, she got everything she wanted, and it still crashed and burned in her mind. And Whitney has made all of the plans, got there, literally has it, is winning, and is still unfulfilled and unsure and scared. And that's just life. That's what, like you said, it's just like, we're flawed people and we're just showing what that's like.
Mm-hmm. And with those, it gives us room for growth. And sometimes that's absent from how people deal with you. Andrea, for your character, Ella, there's room for growth for her. Like Amber just mentioned, she's got all the things, but maybe the relationship path is not perfect. Is that do you think, would that be a harder journey to have all of the other things you want and work on the relationship aspect, or have the perfect relationship aspects and have to work on the other parts of life's journey?
I'm not really sure which one is more difficult. I think that's something that varies person to person. And I think it also depends on where you are in your particular journey. I know that there are women out there who seemingly have everything as far as career and friendships and family go, but they don't have that relationship. And the relationship is so important to them that they feel like they're missing something, even though they have all of these wonderful things going on in their lives. Or the vice versa, having a really solid foundational relationship, but not having your career working out the way that you thought it would. So I really think it varies person to person. I've definitely been in the place where I've been in what were seemingly solid relationships, but all of my misery came from the fact that my career wasn't happening the way that I thought it would. And now I'm on the flip side where I have like this beautiful blossoming career and I don't have a relationship, but I've honestly never been happier in my life than I am right now, despite being single and how a lot of people think that being a single woman, especially in your early to mid 30s, is a deficit. So I think it just really depends on your individual values. But I would say that for me personally, neither side is really a bad thing, as long as you're taking the lessons that you're learning along the way and integrating that into your life and using it as an opportunity for growth.
Gentlemen, viewers, this beautiful woman is single. She is letting you know.
This girl has her pick of the litter. Okay.
Beautiful, beautiful, intelligent women. And this is a cast full of beautiful, intelligent women, and the chemistry that you all have with each other and with Bresha and Sondi. It's a beautiful, beautiful to see you all interact with each other. Amber, when you all are shooting some of these scenes, how does those days begin for all of you? Before you go out to start whatever the scene is for the day, do you have a mantra? Do you high five? Do you have things that you do with each other that just to get that day started?
We get some good music going in the hair and makeup trailer and just start chatting. I mean, we just enjoy each other's company. There's no like ritual or anything that we've done. I feel like those kind of ritual things happen, at least in my experience, more on like a multicam where it's like, we're all gonna go out, we're all gonna shoot this thing in front of the audience, like let's do a powwow before. But you know, with single camera shows, it's a slow, long day and you're shooting with like one person and then someone else later. And so we just kind of enjoy ourselves in the trailer, the moments that we get to hang out together and sitting in our chairs, waiting in between scenes.
It's a different energy. Like you said, these are long days, they're intimate shots, and sometimes you have to do them over, you have to do it from different angles. Andrea, for you, how has that helped you to grow as an actress by doing this type of a production compared to, say, other work you've done in your career?
Yeah, this, those long, slow days give a lot of downtime, a lot of time for reflection, whether it's reflecting on the character and getting even more specific about where they are moment to moment, but also just a lot of deep reflection for yourself. I mean, there are so many things that are going on set. Sometimes there are like trigger moments where things don't go the way that you thought they would, or maybe a scene isn't turning out the way you thought, or you're not hitting things the way that you wanted to, or, craft services got your lunch wrong and gave you out of the vegan chicken and now you're feeling nauseous, there's so many things that go on. And so for me, I just try to look at every single moment as, okay, what is this giving me right now? What is the lesson here? What is this teaching me, whether it's as Ella or as myself? And that's just sort of how I move through the day. I start all my days with I love to do gratitude journaling. I love to do breath work and a little bit of meditation, just to kind of ground myself. Sometimes I'll be sitting in my chair and I'll just kind of go into a little meditation just to, get some more oxygen to my brain and center my thoughts, because, working on the show was so much fun, but it was also it was intense in that I had never done, a lead in a series before. And so there were moments where I would just kind of get overwhelmed by the gravity of it all. And thankfully, prior to starting the work on this series, I developed some really helpful tools for keeping myself centered. And I get to use those as an actor, not just as a human navigating life.
I could take some of those lessons too. And I definitely need a little more oxygen to the brain on a daily basis. So that is fascinating to me. And lastly, Amber, beginning with you, this show is shot so beautifully, from the way they're illuminating all of your melanin, your various shades of melanin, to the costuming, to the landscapes. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous show. What have been some of your favorite elements of this show and participating in it?
Oh, well, there's so many things that I love about it. Bresha always loves to say how expensive our show looks. And that's like, she's so right. They gave us some money, and we had an amazing DP who really understood how to light Black women. So we look, glowing as opposed to like in the shadows, which happens a lot. So all of the elements, like they really hired the best of the best to highlight all of us. And even set design, like every single aspect of everything was so meticulously paid attention to by like true artists. So I'm just truly proud of all of it, honestly. The way that we are depicted on the show is what we deserve. Mm-hmm. And I'm really proud that I get to be a part of something like that.
It's gorgeous. That was the first thing that struck me about the show, is just how you all looked in it. I agree with you. It looks very expensive, and I love that for all of you. And lastly, Andrea, if you weren't playing Ella, if you could switch with any other character on this show, who would you switch? Not that you don't love your character, who would you switch with? And Amber, I'll ask you too. Who would you switch with, Andrea, if you had to switch with a character?
I think the easy answer would be Sondi, just because I relate to her so much. But in the interest of challenging myself, I would say I would be Whitney.
Hey, I was gonna pick you.
I would be Whitney, because I've never really played, because even Renee, I've done characters in the past that have like the big, bold personality. And I, in general, have like a big, bold, in your face personality and very direct and not as funny as Bresha is, but still have like sort of like that big personality. Whereas Whitney has sort of like, she's like so much more conservative and a little bit more reserved, not quite as sure, doesn't know how to like really advocate for herself as much, and ends up taking on a lot of emotional labor that doesn't really serve her in a lot of ways. And so that would be a really, really beautiful challenge for me to tap into something like that. I think Whitney's arc this season has been so interesting, and Amber has just played her so beautifully. And so, yeah, I would jump in Whitney's skin for a little bit.
And Amber,
Nice.
How would Ella be fun for you?
I would love to play Ella. When I read the script, those were I loved all the characters. I relate to all 4 of them in different ways, but I feel like the 2 that stood out to me as characters that I think that I could pull off would be Ella and Whitney. And I just love Ella's journey. I feel like it's so relatable and interesting, and like moment to moment, you don't know where she's going or how she's feeling. And it's like, it's just so exciting to watch. And I think it would be fun to play too.
That's awesome.
Yay.
I love that. Well, I thank you ladies for your time. This is a beautiful show. I'm very happy to talk to you about it. And I know our audience really, really likes it. So thank you again for your time.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.
Take care. Hello, beautiful ladies. Oh my goodness, you guys look fantastic. Congratulations, Miss Webb. Congratulations to you on your recent engagement.
Thank you.
That made my whole heart.
Corbin got engaged 6 months ago.
You too? Okay, come on now, put a ring on it. I love it. Well, I'm happy I love this season of winning for you ladies. It's beautiful, it's deserved. You're so talented. And this is a wonderful, wonderful show to be occurring while all these wins are happening in your personal lives. So getting back into these characters, Bresha, beginning with Renee, the strong friend. The strong friend always has to kind of carry the load and keep on pressing on when everyone else might not be as forthright with their strength. Is that a fair assessment of who she is to the friend group and her journey throughout the season?
Absolutely. Strong friend to a default. While cracking at the surface, and she only shows it when she's forced in therapy to really show that outer layer, that inner layer that's cracking, dressing it up, making it up, and putting it in a beautiful package, but really dying inside. I feel like she speaks to a lot of women, including myself, that are very insecure about showing what they're really going through, even to the closest people around them. So absolutely.
It's difficult. It's difficult. I knew your character was a Taurus when I saw that exterior, because I too am a Taurus, and I recognize those Taurus qualities. Taurus, shout out to us to a fault. Corbin, with your character, it's a very tricky thing when you meet someone kind of in the workplace. And I think not all, but a lot of people have experienced that, where there could be something happening in the workplace. You don't know how to navigate it. It could go very wrong if it's not treaded carefully. What is the key to how Sondi is navigating this workplace-ish relationship while the world says it shouldn't exist, even though they're grown, consenting adults?
Well, unfortunately, I think, you see her floundering a lot. I don't think she's used to being a people pleaser and doing things. I think she's trying to be everything for him. And even if that means taking away like a piece of herself in a way, like I think she's trying to be, a mother to his kid and be a little bit more like of a grown-up, like wife-like spouse, but they're not married. So she's taking on a lot of responsibility, and she's making a lot of sacrifices to be a version of herself, which requires like a lot of giving and not a lot of like taking care of her. And so I think what you'll see and what you're going to see in the finale is her sort of starting to take the reins back and try to reset the boundaries of the relationship for it to match what she needs. Because I think she's been kind of going along for the ride and trying to be this like wifey and this mother, and she's doing a great job, and there are some really beautiful moments, but you also kind of see her like trying really hard and also risking it all for him. And it's not super smart, like the way she goes about it from the beginning up until even now. It's kind of like, girl, you could have lost everything. And not, you know, for what? I mean, you don't even necessarily know that this is who you want to be with forever. It's not like, you know, you guys are engaged or married or something. So yeah, I mean, she definitely is taking a huge risk and a huge gamble, but I think in 8 and hopefully moving forward, she, you know, starts asking for more of what she needs if they continue.
Mhm. Going back to you, Bresha, for Renee, with along with being that strong, she seems to have a firm grip on what she's doing in her life outside of her relationship. Is she a risk taker? Like Sondi? Sondi's a huge risk taker by doing what she's doing. Would you say that she also is a risk taker? Do they have that in common?
Absolutely. I mean, I think she's been playing it by the book in her career for so long, and going above and beyond and being the only Black woman at the table. And when she finally brings in something that could only be brought in by her because it was her own relationship, you know, her own college sisterhood relationship that she brought into her company, and for the deal to be finished and done, and you know, for that whole thing to be completed by White Keith, you know, we have to respect that. We have to respect that Renee has respect enough for herself to say that enough is enough. I've been doing everything as planned. I've been waiting for you guys to give me the promotion and to honor me because of what I've done for the company and what I've done for this marketing company, and doing everything by the book and being above what you got, going above everything that you guys have asked, and still waiting and pitching and poaching myself for the promotion and giving it to White Keith. Like, absolutely not. I'm better than this.
Absolutely.
And you'll see more of her taking chances in the final episode, which I'm excited about because she takes a huge risk and a huge leap. And I learned from Renee, if you ask, you won't receive. You have to ask. And, you know, closed mouths don't get fed as well. So she really puts it out there. And I think it's very inspiring for Black women to see a woman like Renee take the leadership role, honor herself, and put herself out there and trust that she has what it takes. And I think more Black women need to see themselves taking that leadership role, taking risks, not playing it by the books, knowing where you are and knowing who you are, and asking for what you want, and giving someone the opportunity to say no. White men do it all the time. You know, like they'll ask for the world, and we just be like, we'll be just down here. This is enough. Like, no, ask for the world, apologize later.
Bresha, you are speaking to my soul with that message, because I have that conflict myself about asking for things, and as a lot of women who are watching the show. Lastly, Corbin, with Sondi, if Sondi came to you and asked you for some advice on how to navigate this very tricky path that she's on, what is some real simple, conventional wisdom you would impart on her?
I mean, along the same lines of what Bresha just said, I would say don't be afraid to ask for what you need. I think so often, especially in relationships, it's like you want it to work out. And so it's very easy to just like acquiesce and just constantly be like, let me give and give you what you need to make you happy. And you forget about yourself. And women do it all the time. I mean, not just we do it in friendships, we do it with family, we do it with our kids, with our partners at work. I mean, it's very easy to just be a giver and be a nurturer and be like, I can do it all. And you have to be brave enough and have the courage to ask for what you need. Otherwise, you're not going to get it. And along those same lines, I would just say, like, don't forget about yourself. Don't forget who you are. Don't forget whose you are. And you know, don't be afraid to ask for what you need.
Amen. Amen. Come on, ladies. You better give us some words here today. I thank you all for your time. I talked to your co-stars earlier. You guys look gorgeous. This show is gorgeous. And I'm just so happy to see you all on this platform with this type of series. Thank you again for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us. Thank you.
Better shake your booties for black girl nerves. Better shake your booties for black girl nerves.